Hello, in this video we're going to go through learning target 324, which is to be able to factor a polynomial using a greatest common factor. So our first step is to determine if there is a greatest common factor that we can pull out of our function. And then if the result is a quadratic, which it usually will be, then you can factor it just like we did last unit with what multiplies to C and adds to B. So let's go ahead and do that. One thing that's really important with these questions is you need to make sure you read the instructions, because sometimes it will ask you to factor and sometimes it will ask you to solve. And so I'll show you in this process where you stop for each one. But if I just ask you to factor it, then you don't have to do the extra work to solve it. So like down here for the you try, this just says find the factored form. So you would stop at the factored form and then not have to solve it. For this one, it says to factor and find the solution, so we're going to do both. So first things first, I'm going to find out if there's a greatest common factor by seeing if I can divide everything by the same number. Typically, you want to check whatever the smallest number is first. So 4 is the smallest coefficient. And I want to check to see if all of these are divisible by 4. And in fact, they are. So that's a good start. So this is our coefficient for our greatest common factor. And then I want to see how many variables I can pull out. So there's 9 here, 8 here, and 7 here. And so whatever is the smaller of the 3 or 4 or 10 is the one you're going to pull out, because I can't pull any more than 7 x's from this one. So the most I can pull out is x to the 7th. And then I'm going to, in parentheses, write everything that's left once I divide out 4x to the 7th. So 4 divided by 4 gives me 1, and x to the 9th divided by x to the 7th. We have 9 x's. We take 7 away. We're left with x squared. 28 divided by 4 gives me a positive 7. I have 8 x's. I take 7 away. And then 40 divided by 4 gives me positive 10. I have 7 x's. I take 7 away. So now we have a quadratic left, and this quadratic is what we are going to use to factor. So off to the side, I'm going to do my t-chart of things that multiply to C and add to B. My C value is 10 and my B value is 7. And so I can make my whole list of things that multiply to 10. And my factors are going to be 2 and 5, because those add up to 7. So now I'm going to write this in factored form. I have my GCF out front. Your GCF is important, so make sure not to lose it. And then we have x plus 2 for that positive 2, and x plus 5 for that positive 5. Now this is factored form. So if I said just stop at factored form, this is where you would stop. But this one wants us to factor, which is this, and then find the solutions. So all you have to do to find the solutions is set each of these pieces equal to 0 separately. So 4x to the 7th equals 0, x plus 2 equals 0, and x plus 5 equals 0. Now these two we're really familiar with, so we would just like subtract 2 on both sides to get negative 2, and subtract 5 on both sides to get negative 5. This one we haven't seen before, but what's nice about this is since it's all kind of one piece, our steps that we would do is divide by 4, but 0 divided by anything is 0. And then we would take what's called the 7th root to get rid of this, but the root of 0 is 0. So this is always just going to be x equals 0, which is nice. And these are our solutions. So when we're asked to find solutions, you have to go all the way to the end. If you're asked for factored form, you just stop there. And that's it. So pull out your GCF and then factor like we did last unit, find your solutions, and you are good.